Ever seen those skits where there's a little commotion, a little rambunctiousness, and it's someone who may be a little um, seasoned. People like to say
Yeah,
seasoned. We don't say people old. And there's kind of like a little slapstick comedy thing going on. And you kind of grab them and you're like, "Come on, Grandpa, time to go home. Come on, let's go sit down. Come on, time to sit down, Grandpa. Okay, it's okay. We just got to take him back to sit down." You're unfortunately watching this play out in real time with a guy who at one point, you know, had the aptitude for doing what he's doing.
yeah,
You don't at some point, Jerry, right? You have to understand that I can give you all the rope in the world.
mhm.
I can give you all the fanfare in the world. I can build you up, buttercup, whatever you want to
I can
do.
give you that glory hole, as he would say one year.
Yeah, give you all the glory hole. I'll find another glory hole, man. I love the glory hole. Look at him out there. He's got attention. Okay, now cut the feed, Jamie Foxx, right?
Yeah,
At some point, you don't you just have to walk away.
yeah,
Sit up in your box, be the owner, get all the accolades. That's amazing. There's 85% of the reason the Cowboys are in the spot where they're at right now is, I'm gonna say, a lot of his quote unquote good decisions and idiot decisions. They just are. And when you're not able to see that because it's right in your face, that's when
mhm,
you're the most dangerous. And then when you go ahead and you are trying to do something in your estimation that is beneficial. Let's talk about the game. Let's talk about the fans, blah, 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 blah. And I think it's great that the owner of a National Football League team is coming onto the airways and talking with fellow media members and friends. But to come after the guy in such a way where, like, if you don't ask me the right question, I'm going to go find someone to get the right question. It's not going to be you.
yeah,
Like, come on, man. Like, you're basically saying, like, I need a bunch of yes men, and you
yeah,
guys need to answer the right questions. If you don't answer the right questions, well, then I'm gonna move on. You're fired. Like,
mhm.
seriously, Jerry, come on, man.
I will say this as a radio guy, like, I have to call myself one, even though I'm just a
Sure,
slapdick a
sure,
producer a little bit.
sure.
I've now I just don't want this to become like, how Washington is, like, when they do interviews with players or, like, owners, you get
Hmm.
pushed a piece of paper with all, like, the questions you have to ask and stuff, or, like,
Sure,
some
sure.
markets do that, which I think it's bullshit anyways, because some people
Hmm.
do a good job of, like, sometimes you don't need the team media guy to take over a morning show or to, like, hijack it. It's like, "Oh, it's Texans radio," for example, or Cowboys radio. We're gonna take over and ask Jerry Jones a bunch of softball questions.
Hmm.
When I watch it, I was like, I see nothing wrong with any of these questions at all. I would ask that the same ones at best, the same person if it was to Jeffrey Lurie, Stephen Ross, because I want to knock him down a few pegs because he thinks he's the greatest thing is sliced bread, which he isn't. And there's a few others, and I didn't see anything wrong with it. I think it's good journalism, good reporting. And how he went for the job thing is like, what are you gonna do? You're gonna move shows? Like, are you actually gonna call someone like, hey, we'll stay with the team, we'll stay with you, but if you have to get rid of them. That happened once in Detroit. And I was like, that the PD will always stand back for your talent. The talent is always there. The radio stuff, like the rights are the rights. So it's like that almost.
No, it is, and there's a lot of business, quote unquote, that goes into the backside of it that a lot of individuals who are listening on the airwaves don't really
Mm-hmm.
have a full transparency or concept of, and that's fine. Obviously,
Yeah.
everyone has to get paid. There's contracts. There's negotiations. But when you criticize, let's call him a journalist because he is a media journalist,
Yeah.
right? When you criticize a
Yeah.
journalist for essentially doing his job, there's a little bit of take back that really comes along with that, right? Like you should be able to ask those questions. And I feel as if sometimes we are conditioned being in this arena, like you, to
Yeah.
not ask the abrasive questions. Look, you have a really talented roster. You have a seasoned coach with a championship. You have a quarterback that you just paid an exuberant amount of money to. You have a star wide receiver. You have a serviceable defense. You have all the facilities, all of the essential needs to grow this team into something. You were
Mm-hmm.
considered team 1A, team 1B of this division.
Yeah.
What have you done? Like, what have you done? Like, you've got progressively worse, and not just worse in the sense that, well, there was an injury here. We kind of fell off a little bit. Maybe we didn't execute. No, like you've fallen off the cliff. This is like Gibraltar, and you're
Yeah.
jumping off.
It's like you're falling off the cliff because of your signings you did. Like Zeke Elliott, like he was past cooked a long time ago already, you know?
You can't recreate the wheel. You can't
No,
bottle lightning twice. It doesn't happen. I've seen this for 30 plus years in sports. It just doesn't happen.
no. Rebottling lightning, if you could do that. You know how many teams will be doing that? Like Cleveland would do that because they want this go back to the 80s. Like the
Oh my
Steelers
gosh.
of the 70s, the Cowboys of the 90s, they would rebottle that and like sell it like hotcakes almost, or just like Coca-Cola almost, or Dr. Pepper.
There's a perfect example last night on the pregame for the National League Championship Series. They're talking
Yeah,
to Strawberry and Gooden about the 86 team compared to the 88 team. The 88 team, if you're a Mets fan or a baseball fan,
yeah,
beyond talented compared to the 86 team. Head to head, they'd probably kill them.
yeah.
But they didn't have that. They didn't have the little factors that go into everybody, living and dying, hanging on each other's word.
Yeah.
That's a prime example of it. You can't try to put those things together. And when you do, if you're making those investments and you're spending that money, it has to pan out. And if it doesn't pan out, you need to make
Who's
some
at fault?
changes.
Who's at fault for
Right.
that? Like, anyway, someone's gonna be the fall guy, is what Chris Carter would say.
Someone's got to be the fall guy. Someone's got to be the fall guy.
Absolutely. Absolutely. So we are team Shan and RJ and Bobby Belt too. If they ever want to come on the podcast, there's always an open door. Like I'm down to talk anyways. So I don't mind anyways. I like to support journalism, and that was good journalism. And sometimes you got to ask the hard questions. And I will say this. I don't know what's gonna happen, but I kind of want to. I'm tuned in. You know, I'm tuned in because the Philly radio has been pretty boring, and I don't want to hear like Sirianni talk. I kind of like this. I kind of want to see what's gonna happen next, anyway. So
This
I'm
unfortunate.
hooked.
Yeah, this unfortunately is one of those circumstances, and you hate to be it. And seriously, good luck and good karma to you guys down there,
Yeah,
where you have oh, did you make a personal phone call on company time? I got to write you up. Oh, did you not check in at this particular time? Oh, I got to write you up and like say sorry. Yeah, it was an internal thing, and we have to let you go. Blah blah blah. And meanwhile, the guy sneaking around the corner with the big bushy eyebrows and the snakeskin boots,
hmm
bobbing his head. So be vigilant down there.
yeah. Do well, guys. We appreciate you guys down there. We
And
like
this
good
this is
journalism.
this is Philly fans reaching
Yeah,
out to be like, this is journalism, guys. Seriously,
yeah.
like you're doing your job. Great job.